An ICE agent put a weapon to a handcuffed pastor's head and asked this: "Are you scared?" Let that sink in for a second. I am not joking, by the way. And before you think this is just one outrageous moment, it is not. And it actually gets even worse. But first, guys, a pastor who, was unarmed, who was treated like a criminal. He wasn't threatening anyone. He was at a protest in Minneapolis, and a federal agent pointed a gun at his head. Like I said, it gets worse. Check it out.
An ICE agent literally came over to me and said, "What did you say?" I said, "I am not afraid." And they pointed a gun in my face. ICE put handcuffs on my hands and put me in a black SUV. And then a few moments later, they came back and they said, "Are you afraid yet?" And I said, "No." And then they said it. "Well, you're white. You wouldn't be fun anyway." It was then that I knew that this staging, that these ICE raids are really about fear and intimidation.
And pay attention here, because this part changes how you should see the entire story. Now, this, God, made my blood boil, guys. I'm sorry, but this is just, they are going too far, okay? But as shocking as that was to watch, the most alarming part of the story is that this is not an isolated incident. It is part of a growing and documented pattern of clergies being targeted, injured, and assaulted during ICE operations and peaceful protests, all while peacefully, praying and standing still. And once you see the pattern, this stops being about one pastor, okay? In October 2025, Reverend David Black, a Presbyterian minister from Chicago, was praying peacefully during a protest. He wasn't confronting anyone. He was praying, guys. And he was shot multiple times with pepper balls. He was even hit in the head and upper body and sprayed directly in the eyes with chemical irritants. Watch this one. Reverend Black is now a plaintiff in an ACLU lawsuit, saying that the force used against him and other clergy was excessive and unjustified. I think everybody watching this agrees. Then there was another case in Alameda, California. Reverend George Bautista, seen here, another pastor approached an ICE agent and said, "We come in peace." That was what he said. That's all he said. And this image of him right here is how they responded to that. An ICE agent shot him in the face with pepper rounds. He needed emergency care afterwards, guys. This was not a riot. This was a pastor identifying himself and trying to de-escalate. And it didn't stop there. And this is where it becomes basically impossible to call this just a coincidence, okay? At least 5 other clergy members, including Reverend Hannah Cardon and Reverend Quincy Worthington, have reported being hit with pepper balls, sprayed with chemical agents, physically assaulted, or arrested while acting in their roles as clergy. One pastor described being grabbed by the neck and physically twisted while being restrained. And in January 2026, clergy in Minneapolis rushed to the scene where ICE agents had shot and killed Renee Good. Those clergy were exposed to pepper spray. I mean, guys, different cities, different moments, same outcomes. And this is the part people really need to sit with. Okay? Think about this. Clergy aren't random bystanders, okay? They are traditionally treated as de-escalators, right? As observers, as moral witnesses. And when armed federal agents aim weapons at priests, shoot pastors in the face, and gas clergy responding to violence, it signals a huge escalation of force against peaceful protesters. You can't get more peaceful than a clergyman. I mean, it tells us that no role is protected anymore at all. If clergy can be treated this way, good Lord, journalists will be next. Medics, are screwed. And bystanders can basically be next. Basically, any single living individual that is near ICE agents. This has stopped being just about immigration enforcement. This is about how force is being normalized. And this is where, guys, oh my God, this is where official responses start to matter more than the incident itself. Because now the Department of Homeland Security has defended its agents. DHS has said that those clergy, but they called them protesters, were blocking vehicles, objects were thrown, and force was necessary. But the clergy who were there say those claims do not match what actually happened. And that matters. And personally, if you were to ask me, I probably would believe the clergy over DHS, especially during this administration. Just me. Because when, there's video eyewitnesses and documented injuries, and the response is still blanket defense or, now according to J.D. Vance, total immunity, it sends a message. It tells agents this behavior and, any behavior will be protected. And once that message spreads, guess what? So does the behavior. And this is where the story stops being about ICE alone, okay? All right, there's so much more to this. This is no longer about immigration status. It's about anyone who speaks out against the administration, even through peaceful protests. I mean, we've moved from enforcement to intimidation, even against religious leaders. And this really matters right now, guys, because once violence against clergy is normalized, there is nothing left to restrain the use of force on anyone. You almost have to ask, if these so-called Christian, Jesus-loving ICE agents will attack a man of God, is anyone safe? I mean, when a priest can have a gun put to his head and the system closes ranks around it, that danger is in no way theoretical. It is 100% already here. Thank you for watching. I am Jared Zisser, and this is Ring of Fire. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on notifications to make sure you are informed about everything important in progressive politics today. And if you are looking for fact-based independent reporting all day, every day, follow me here on Instagram or here on Facebook. See you in the next video.